There are 23 vintage jewellery pieces secretly worth thousands, and you may have one tangled in a dressing table drawer, pinned inside a handbag, or resting in a box dismissed as costume jewellery. I mean the signed brooch, the bracelet with an unusual clasp, the unworn ring, and the pendant that belongs to a suite. Every price tonight comes from a real auction sale. We start with overlooked pieces worth thousands and climb, jewel by jewel, beyond $11 million. Number 1 is La Peregrina, the Spanish royal pearl, later owned by Elizabeth Taylor. Her puppy nearly swallowed it before Cartier set it among diamonds and rubies. The necklace sold for $11,842,500. I will tell you how its royal identity survived. By the end, you will know which marks, fittings, and papers to check before selling a jewellery box. Most vintage jewellery is ordinary, but maker's signatures, precious materials, natural stones, convertible fittings, condition, original boxes, and an unbroken provenance can change everything. I'm Malcolm Ashby, an auctioneer and valuer for 40 years. Tonight, the clasp, signature, and old box matter as much as the sparkle. Now, before we carry on, let me say one thing. The support my channel has had lately has been overwhelming, and I mean that. So here's what I've decided. I'm not putting ads on these videos. You've given me your time, and I won't have it interrupted. If you'd like to support my channel, there's one way. You can scan the code on screen now with your phone's camera to get my book. I've put everything I know into one book, the Household and Collectibles Price Guide, 2027 edition. Every common item you might own, how to value it, and what it actually sells for. It even tells you where and how to sell it, who buys it, what they'll pay, and which route to take for which object. To get it, and everything I know, it's over at my website, malcolmashby.com. That's MALCOLMASHBY.com. Right, let's carry on. Number 23, Miriam Haskell Costume Jewellery. We begin with pieces people dismiss because the pearls are imitation and the metal is not gold. Haskell's best work was hand-wired from glass pearls, seed beads, rhinestones, and filigree, and collectors value design and construction. Bonham's catalogued a 1950s simulated turquoise necklace and earrings by Miriam Haskell from Joan Crawford's collection at $800 to $1,200. More elaborate signed parures can reach several thousand. Your test is to turn the piece over. Look for neat wired construction, antique gilt filigree, a horseshoe-shaped plaque or oval Miriam Haskell signature, and the correct clasp. Early unsigned work requires specialist comparison. Do not soak simulated pearls. Their coating can peel, and old foil-backed stones dislike water. Keep clip earrings, bracelet, and necklace together. Provenance can multiply value, but a celebrity claim needs a photograph, invoice, or collection label. The important lesson is that precious material is not the only market. A boldly made necklace from a recognized costume house can be worth more than a light modern gold chain, even though a scrap dealer would value it at almost nothing. Number 22, Trifari Jelly Belly Brooches. These playful insects, birds, and sea creatures use clear lucite bodies with plated metal, colored enamel, and rhinestones. The best were designed under Alfred Philippe, who had worked for Van Cleef and Arpels before joining Trifari. Genuine 1940s examples can sell from hundreds into several $1,000s, especially rare subjects in excellent condition. Your test is the back. Look for the crown Trifari signature, often with a tiny crown above the T, and inspect how the clear belly is mounted. Reproductions and later pieces exist. The lucite should show period wear without the cloudy damage created by harsh polish. Do not use silver dip, ultrasonic cleaning, or boiling water. Keep the brooch away from perfume and direct sun. Missing rhinestones can be replaced, but an obviously incorrect modern stone reduces confidence. Photograph the hinge, clasp, and signature through your phone's magnifier. A common unsigned plastic brooch may be $20. A rare Philippe-era Jelly Belly in the form collector's chase can move into 4 figures because design, not gem weight, is the source of its value. Number 21. Bakelite bangles and figural pins. The chunky bracelet that feels like ordinary plastic may be phenolic resin from the Art Deco period. Deeply carved bangles, laminated colors, and whimsical figural pins by makers such as Martha Sleeper can bring thousands. Sets in rare colors can do better still. Your test must be non-destructive. Look for carving that passes through genuine color layers, old hardware, and a warm, dense feel. Do not use the hot pin test. Burning vintage plastic damages the piece and releases unpleasant fumes. Chemical tests can stain surfaces, so leave them to someone experienced. Many modern plastics and Fakelite copies were made to deceive. Check under hinges for fresh grinding and compare the patina inside a bangle with the outer surface. Never polish away the oxidation collectors use as evidence. Keep matching bracelets together. The visual impact of a stack can exceed the sum of single pieces. Bakelite contains no diamonds and little intrinsic value, yet the right geometric bracelet can outperform conventional jewelry. That is why every jewelry box should be sorted by maker and design before anyone makes a pile labeled "not real." Number 20. Georgian and Victorian mourning rings. Black enamel, woven hair, and tiny painted urns are often rejected as gloomy family relics. They are also named dated documents. Christie's has catalogued American mourning rings from the 1760s and 1770s, including one for Alice Christie Colden, wife of colonial governor Cadwallader Colden. Strong examples with important sitters, intact enamel, and original cases can sell for several $1,000s or more. Your test is to read the inside of the shank. The abbreviations OB and AE usually record date of death and age. Photograph the inscription before attempting to clean it. Look under the glazed bezel for hair, a miniature, skull, urn, or willow. Do not open a sealed compartment. Moisture can destroy the paper and hair arrangement in seconds. A ring commemorating a well-documented person is stronger than an anonymous one, so genealogy becomes part of valuation. Never erase a name because you think initials reduce resale value. Here the inscription is the provenance. Keep funeral notices or family trees with the object. A modest gold weight can carry a much larger historical value when the person and date can be identified. Number 19. Victorian micro-mosaic brooches. From a distance, these look painted, but the image is built from hundreds or thousands of microscopic glass rods called tesserae. Travelers bought them in Rome as souvenirs, and quality varies enormously. A simple flower brooch may be modest. A fine architectural view, animal or archaeological subject in gold can sell for thousands. Your test is to use magnification and count detail, not age. Better work uses extremely small, tightly set tesserae with subtle shading and almost no visible gaps. Look for a black glass or stone ground, gold marks and maker inscriptions. Never scrub grout with a toothbrush or put the brooch in an ultrasonic cleaner. One loosened tesserae can begin a cascade of loss. Do not mistake a printed image under glass for mosaic. Tilt the surface in side light. Genuine rods reveal minute texture. Keep the fitted case, especially if it names a Roman retailer. The valuable example is the one that behaves like a miniature painting when seen close up. Grandmother may have called it the Rome brooch, but the workmanship tells you whether it is a common tourist remembrance or a serious 19th century jewel. Number 18. Hardstone cameo jewelry. Cameos are common enough to create dangerous indifference. Most shell portraits are worth hundreds or less, but exceptional carvings in sardonyx, agate, or lava, signed by notable artists or depicting identifiable sitters, can sell in the thousands. Your test is to inspect the image from the side. A carved layer has real relief and undercut detail. A molded imitation often repeats tiny surface defects. Look for a signature along the shoulder, base of the neck, or reverse. Examine the mount for gold marks and old repairs. Do not soak shell, which is porous, and never bleach a yellowed cameo. Hairlines around the edge can be hidden by the frame. Subject matters. Classical heads are plentiful, while rare portraits, mythological scenes, and archaeological subjects attract stronger competition. Keep a group together when the mounts and subjects form a suite. A cameo should not be valued only by the gold rim. In the best examples, a sculptor used a natural band of color in stone to create depth no machine print can reproduce. That artistry is what the collector is buying. Quick word, if you've got any old things at home, don't do anything with them yet, not till you know what they're worth. My full price guide, every common item you might own and what it sells for, is over at my website malcolmashby.com. That's MALCOLM ashby.com, or scan the code on your screen. Now back to it. Number 17. Arts and crafts moonstone jewels. These can look deliberately rustic, pale stones, hammered silver, wirework leaves and handmade chains. That understatement is the point. Pieces by Liberty and Company, Archibald Knox, Sybil Dunlop, Dorrie Nossiter and the Guild of Handicraft can sell for thousands, particularly when the design is documented. Your test is to examine every link and clasp for tiny maker or assay marks. Moonstones should show an internal blue or white glow that moves as the jewel turns. Keep asymmetry and tool marks. They may be evidence of handwork, not defects. Do not replace a natural irregular pearl with a perfectly round, cultured one. Avoid ultrasonic cleaning because moonstone can fracture and old close-back settings can trap liquid. Original Liberty cases and design numbers matter. Many unmarked pieces require attribution rather than a confident maker claim. Ask a specialist to separate in the style of from signed work. The best arts and crafts jewel rejected factory perfection, so a family may have mistaken it for amateur work. A lumpy silver pendant can be much more important than the polished commercial necklace beside it. Number 16. Georgian paste jewelry. Paste is glass cut and foiled to imitate diamonds, and the finest 18th century work was never meant to be an embarrassment. It sparkled by candlelight and was mounted with considerable skill. Complete Revere necklaces, buckles and girandole earrings can bring thousands, sometimes tens of thousands, when rare and untouched. Your test is to inspect from the back. Closed settings with darkened foil, irregular hand-cut stones and period silver construction are useful clues. Do not immerse the piece. Water behind a stone stains the foil and destroys the very sparkle you hoped to improve. Never replace a dark paste stone with a bright modern crystal without recording the change. The old darkness is part of the surface. Look for matching detachable sections. 18th century jewels were often convertible. One missing drop may be sitting loose in the box. Do not assume paste means counterfeit. In Georgian collecting, it is a material and a category of its own. The value lies in age, design, survival, and the theatrical effect of a complete jewel made for candlelit rooms. Number 15. Suffragette and suffrage jewellery. Purple, white and green pieces are often advertised as British suffragette jewels, while American examples use different symbols and colours. Genuine documented objects can sell for several $1,000s, but colour alone proves nothing. Your test is provenance and inscription. Look for votes for women wording, organisation initials, maker marks, presentation engravings and old photographs. Many ordinary amethyst, pearl and peridot jewels have been relabeled because the colour sequence suits the story. Some were made at the time without political meaning. Do not pay a premium for a modern description unsupported by evidence. Keep badges, ribbons, paper membership cards and jewellery together. Enamel badges are especially vulnerable to polishing and bending. If a piece has a name, research the wearer in electoral registers, newspapers and society archives. The strongest value arrives when the object connects to a known activist or event. This category is a perfect reminder that a believable story is not the same as provenance. History must be demonstrated one document at a time. Number 14. Egyptian Revival Jewels. Archaeological discoveries, especially the opening of Tutankhamun's tomb in 1922, inspired scarabs, lotus flowers, winged suns, and coloured faience in jewellery. Cartier, Lacloche, Van Cleef and Arpels and smaller workshops combined ancient fragments with modern mounts. Good signed examples can reach 5 figures. Your test is to separate inspiration from ancient material. Look for a maker's signature, French assay marks and inventory numbers on the mount. A genuine ancient scarab inserted into a 1920s brooch creates both value and legal questions about provenance and export history. Do not remove it to inspect the drilling. Photograph every side and retain old customs papers. Bright blue faience is not automatically ancient. Revival pieces used new materials too. The market values coherent design, condition and a respected signature. A small beetle brooch may be inexpensive. A signed Art Deco jewel built around a documented antique fragment can be worth tens of thousands. Because ancient elements are now regulated in many jurisdictions, ask both a jewelry specialist and a cultural property specialist before shipping internationally. Number 13. Antique Greek and Roman rings. Christie's 2002 ancient jewelry sale achieved $35,850 for a Greek gold and carnelian finger ring against an $8,000 to $12,000 estimate. That jump shows what a rare type, fine engraving and buyer competition can do. Your test is not to scrape away soil. Photograph the bezel, hoop, intaglio and any old collection number. Wear patterns and mineral deposits can assist authentication. Modern reproductions are plentiful and scientific metal testing cannot by itself prove ancient manufacture. Provenance is essential. Invoices, export licenses, collection publications and photographs predating modern restrictions. Do not resize an ancient hoop or set a loose intaglio into a new ring before advice. You may destroy archaeological information and create legal difficulty. The price is not for gold weight. It is for a wearable object that survived 2,000 years with a legitimate chain of ownership. Any inherited Roman ring should be treated as unverified until both authenticity and lawful provenance are checked. This is the point where a written valuation becomes more useful than a verbal opinion. Ask the valuer to identify the object, list the marks, describe condition, state whether stones have laboratory reports, and explain which comparable sales were used. Photographs should form part of the document. For a family division, obtain the valuation before anyone chooses a favorite. A tiny signed brooch can be worth more than the largest necklace. For insurance, ask whether the figure is replacement value or likely auction value, because they are not interchangeable. And if a buyer offers immediately after the appraisal, remember that an offer and an independent valuation are different services. There is nothing improper about a dealer making an offer, but you should know which hat the person is wearing. Jewelry is portable, emotional, and easy to separate from its paperwork. A calm inventory protects both the object and the family conversation around it. Number 12. Henri Viva Art Nouveau pendants. Viva used enamel, pearls, gold and diamonds to create flowers and sinuous female forms. In Christie's 2017 Beyond Boundaries sale, an enamel, diamond and pearl pendant necklace by Henri Viva sold for 75,000 Swiss francs. A second enamel and pearl pendant brooch reached 100,000. Your test is to look for a discreet Viva signature, often hidden on an edge or reverse, and to examine pliqué jour enamel in transmitted light. This technique has no backing, so color glows like miniature stained glass. It is also fragile. Never press an enamel panel to test it. Do not let a jeweler solder near it without specialist precautions. Heat can destroy the work. Keep detachable chains and pendant fittings together. Art Nouveau value often sits in design rather than carat count. Baroque pearls, horn and translucent enamel may outrank larger conventional diamonds when a major maker arranged them. A soft, organic pendant that once seemed old-fashioned can be a signed work of wearable art. Number 11. Cashmere sapphire brooches. In 2014, Bonhams sold a circa 1925 Art Deco cashmere sapphire and diamond brooch for $137,000. Cashmere origin commands attention because the historic mines produced sapphires with a prized velvety blue. but origin cannot be established by eye or family law. Your test is to leave the stone in its mount and obtain a report from a recognized gemological laboratory. The report should address treatment as well as geographic origin. Heat treatment is common and can greatly affect value. Look for period platinum work, old cut diamonds and maker numbers on the brooch frame. Do not allow polishing that rounds crisp milligrain edges. A safety chain added later is not necessarily damaging, but disclose alterations. Never call a blue stone cashmere in a listing merely because it is dark and beautiful. At six-figure levels, the buyer expects laboratory evidence, accurate measurements, and a careful condition report. The paper is not more important than the gem, but it is what turns an opinion into a marketable conclusion. Number 10. René Lalique Sapphire Rings. Lalique challenged conventional jewelry by valuing imagination above raw gem size. At Christie's Beyond Boundaries sale, an Art Nouveau sapphire, an enamel ring by René Lalique, sold for 162,500 Swiss francs. Your test is the whole design: signature, sculptural shoulders, enamel technique, and the relationship between stone and mount. Lalique's signatures were copied, so letters alone are not proof. Compare construction and documented designs. Do not resize the shank before attribution. The altered area may remove a mark or distort the composition. Enamel loss, repairs, and replace stones require specialist assessment. Some damage is acceptable in a rare jewel, but invisible restoration must not be assumed. Keep old drawings, fitted cases, and receipts. A modest sapphire in a brilliant Lalique mount may be more valuable than a larger anonymous gem. That reverses the way many families sort jewelry. The best stone is not always the best object. The designer can be the crown jewel. Number 9. Fabergé transformable diamond necklaces. Christie's sold a late 19th century Fabergé necklace for 214,200 Swiss francs in Geneva in May 2025. Designed under August Holmström, Fabergé's chief jeweler, it could be transformed for different ways of wearing and remained in the same family for more than a century. The original design survives in an album at the State Hermitage Museum, and the necklace had been exhibited at the Victoria and Albert Museum. Your test is to look for Russian assay and workmaster marks, detachable fittings, and an original fitted case. Do not assume every Cyrillic-looking stamp is genuine. Fabergé is heavily faked. Do not separate drops or adapt the necklace for modern wear. Photograph every hinge and numbered component before handling. The value is built from maker, documented design, family provenance, exhibition history, and completeness. A diamond necklace is valuable in material terms. A Fabergé necklace that can be connected to its workshop drawing and century-long history belongs on a different level. Number 8. Georges Fouquet Art Nouveau necklaces. Christie's sold an opal, enamel and pearl necklace by Georges Fouquet made around 1900 for 300,000 Swiss francs in its Beyond Boundaries sale. Fouquet worked at the adventurous edge of Parisian jewelry and collaborated with artists including Alphonse Mucha. The designs can combine opal, horn, enamel, and asymmetrical goldwork in ways that look more theatrical than conventional. Your test is the signature, but also the total construction. Examine enamel in transmitted light, look for period chain links, and check whether a pendant was designed to detach. Do not polish away darkened surface from recessed gold or replace an irregular pearl. Compare the piece with documented Fouquet drawings and exhibition records because signatures can be added. The 300,000 franc result shows that Lalique was not the only Art Nouveau name worth finding. A jewel with daring color and a strange silhouette may belong to another master workshop, and the correct attribution depends on patient design research rather than stone weight. Number 7. Cartier Art Deco Gem Set Brooches. Bonham sold a circa 1925 Cartier fan motif brooch for $317,000 in New York in 2014. It combined coral and onyx beads, a rock crystal ring, and about 3.5 carats of diamonds in platinum. The estimate was far lower, but bidders responded to signature, condition, and a design that captured the period. Your test is to search for Cartier, a serial number, French assay marks, and the maker's lozenge. Marks can be tiny and sit on the pin stem or edge. Do not polish away a number. Coral is organic and sensitive to chemicals. Rock crystal chips, old platinum work can distort under careless pressure. A Cartier box is useful but does not authenticate the brooch inside it. Match numbers and obtain an expert opinion. Signed jewels attract sophisticated fakes and later marriages. When genuine, however, a compact brooch can contain the entire vocabulary of 1920s Paris and sell for more than many houses. Number 6. René Lalique chrysoprase brooches. A circa 1898 enamel, chrysoprase and pearl brooch by Lalique sold for 324,500 Swiss francs at Christie's in 2017. Chrysoprase is a green variety of chalcedony, not one of the conventional Big Four gemstones. Again, the design carried the price. Your test is to inspect how every leaf, pearl and translucent panel relates to the metal structure. Look for later glue, replacement pearls and enamel restoration under magnification. Do not assume a replacement makes the jewel worthless, but demand disclosure. Keep any old photograph showing it worn. That can establish components and provenance. Lalique produced variations, not endless identical copies, so specialists compare each piece with drawings, exhibitions, and established catalogues. The jewelry box may contain an object whose material sounds modest, but whose maker places it in an international art market. That is why sorting by whether the stones look real is a poor first method. Number 5. Lalique wasp necklaces. The top lot of Christie's Beyond Boundaries jewelry sale was an enamel, diamond and pearl wasp pendant necklace that achieved 972,500 Swiss francs, roughly $978,000 at the reported exchange. It sold for more than 10 times its low estimate and set an auction record for Lalique jewelry at the time. Your test is to respect fragility. Plique azure wings can crack invisibly at the metal edge. Pearls can lose nacre and old enamel dislikes impact. Do not lift a complex pendant by one wing or dangling pearl. Place it flat in an acid-free padded tray and photograph the signature, clasp, and each connection. The wasp subject is not a generic insect charm. Lalique's natural forms, unusual materials, and sculptural modeling make the attribution. Nearly $1 million was paid not for diamond weight, but for a masterpiece of Art Nouveau design. Number 4. Cartier Tutti Frutti bracelets. These exuberant jewels combine carved rubies, emeralds, and sapphires as leaves and berries, usually with diamonds and black enamel. Sotheby's sold a circa 1,930 Cartier Tutti Frutti bracelet for $1,340,000 in 2020. At that time, an auction record for any jewel sold online. Your test is to look beneath the color. Cartier signature, serial number, French marks, carving quality, flexible construction, and any later alterations all matter. Loose carved stones are vulnerable, so never force a tight bracelet or clean it ultrasonically. Many later jewels imitate the style. Tutti Frutti, in a seller's description, does not make it Cartier. Obtain a specialist report and ask whether the bracelet is complete or has been shortened. Keep removed links if they exist. The finest examples connect Mughal carving traditions with Parisian Art Deco design. That cultural and design history is why buyers value the whole bracelet far beyond the separate gems. Number 3. Elizabeth Taylor's Bulgari Emerald Suite. Richard Burton bought Taylor a magnificent Bulgari emerald necklace during the filming of Cleopatra, and a matching pendant could detach and be worn as a brooch. When Christie sold the collection in 2011, the emerald necklace realized $6,130,500, while the pendant brooch brought $6,578,500. Your test is modularity. Vintage high jewelry often converts, pendants detach, brooches divide, tiaras become necklaces. Never sell a loose element until you know whether it belongs to something larger. Search the box for tiny screws, fittings and chains, and photograph numbers on every component. Laboratory reports establish treatment and origin for important emeralds. Oiling level matters. Provenance from Taylor and Burton added extraordinary power, but Bulgari design and exceptional Colombian emeralds supplied substance. Even without celebrity ownership, a signed convertible suite should remain together. The odd brooch may actually be the center of a necklace worth many times more. Number 2. The Elizabeth Taylor Diamond. Richard Burton bought the 33.19 carat Assacut diamond for Taylor in 1968. Formerly called the Krupp diamond, it became one of her signature jewels. Christie's sold the ring in December 2011 for $8,818,500, far above its estimate. Your test is documentation. A large diamond needs a current laboratory report covering weight, color, clarity, and treatments. Check old inscriptions, mount numbers, and invoices before resetting it. Do not let an unqualified buyer remove the stone in a kitchen. At this value, security, insurance, and chain of custody matter from the first examination. The D color, potentially internally flawless stone, had obvious gem importance, while Taylor's ownership gave it a story seen in photographs around the world. The ring shows how 4 kinds of value can converge: material, rarity, maker or setting, and provenance. Few jewelry box rings possess all 4, but you cannot know which one you have by guessing from sparkle. And number 1, the crown jewel is La Peregrina, the great pear-shaped natural pearl whose name means the wanderer or the pilgrim. Christie's sold the Cartier necklace containing it on the 13th of December 2011 for $11,842,500. Worth $11,842,500. That was a world auction record for a pearl jewel at the time. The pearl's documented history reaches back to 16th century Spain. It entered the Spanish royal collection and was given by King Philip II to Mary I of England as a wedding gift. Royal portraits helped preserve its identity as it passed through generations and later left Spain. In 1969, Richard Burton bought La Peregrina at auction for $37,000 and gave it to Elizabeth Taylor. Taylor told a wonderfully human story about nearly losing it. She was wearing the pearl when she realized it had disappeared from the chain. After searching the room, she found one of her puppies chewing something. She opened the dog's mouth and recovered La Peregrina without a scratch. Later, Taylor and Burton commissioned Cartier to create the elaborate necklace of pearls, diamonds and rubies that framed the historic drop. The setting referred to Renaissance design and transformed a famous loose pearl into a jewel associated unmistakably with Taylor. Your test for old pearls is restraint. Do not rub them with jewelry cleaner or store them against diamonds. Natural pearls require laboratory testing. Shape and age alone are not proof. Keep old boxes, portraits, invoices, and family letters. If a clasp carries Cartier, a serial number, or a maker's mark, photograph it before wear. Never restring an important necklace without preserving the old thread, arrangement, and fittings. The buyer was paying for a rare natural pearl, royal history, Cartier design, Burton's gift, and Taylor's ownership in one object. Remove any part of that chain and the price changes. Keep it intact, and a pearl that once crossed royal courts can become the most valuable thing in a jewelry box. So the climb began with costume jewelry and ended above $11 million. Through every level, the useful clues were the same: signature, period construction, original components, laboratory evidence, and provenance. Material alone repeatedly misled us. Paste, glass, enamel, plastic, and moonstone can be valuable when the designer and history are right. Sort a jewelry box on a soft towel. Do not untangle chains by pulling. Photograph fronts, backs, clasps, hallmarks, and cases. Weigh only when you can do so without removing stones or damaging a fragile setting. Keep suites and convertible fittings together. Search sold auction results, then approach the specialist whose department actually handles the maker or period. and ensure before posting, not after. Tell me in the comments which piece made you look twice. Subscribe, because next we are checking antiques that may require permits, provenance, or may not be lawful to sell at all. That is one list where stopping first is more important than the price. If anything today looked familiar, have a proper look before you sell a single thing. Everything's in my price guide over at malcolmashby.com, or scan the code on your screen. I'll leave it up for you.